Hey y'all, I got the wrong stuff up. I'm sorry about that. Shout out to all of you that are joining the podcast on tonight of the Mad Church Disease program. Thank y'all so very much. I am your humble host and servant, Marcellus. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Memorial Day. This is going to be a very unique Memorial Day. And for those of you that will eventually come back and watch this repeat or replay, thank you so very much for joining me as well. Shout out to all of you that are in the chat. Sharon T. Leonard, who is a longtime supporter. Sharon, if I remember, if I just so that I remember, I believe you, if you're the Sharon that has been supporting me since my CFR days and my Church Folk Revolution days, shout out to you and thank you for continuing to support me. Just let me know if you are that Sharon, because I think you are. And if you are, I'm grateful. T. Davis, thank you. Moni No Love, Fred Samuel, Christine Parks, Beauty for Ashes. I thought I saw Courtney. I am Courtney's in there as well. I am Courtney. Lord have mercy. All right. I got to dig into this one. What happened here? Did I forget to turn something on? What happened? Hold on. Oh no, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't give a flying flip about this stuff. Okay, anyway. You all listen. Okay, let me just do some preliminary stuff first before I get involved with this. If you are a supporter of the Mad Church Disease channel, ladies and gentlemen, I can't put the newsletter subscription thing up because the Cash App information is different, and I don't even want anybody to send it there. This is the proper information if you're supporting the show. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for your support. If you are, God bless you. Moving right along. Hey, Leah, thank you guys so very much. Let me tell you why I am on today. And if you're watching this replay, let me say this to all of you. First and foremost, I would like to apologize to any woman, especially any Black woman that was in my chat on yesterday who felt disrespected, dishonored, or misunderstood. I want to extend to you an apology. I'm going to extend an apology to Sheridan as well. If by any means you felt disrespected by the statements that I made yesterday, I wholeheartedly apologize for those statements and would like to convey my deepest, sentiments as it relates to that, and humbly apologize. Okay. But I do need to do a little bit of education on tonight. So let me explain something. Throughout the last 24 hours, ladies and gentlemen, I have been accused of all sorts of things that I have never in my human existence ever had to experience. I have been told by people that I hate Black women. All sorts of narratives have been spun over this 24 hours. I did not go to bed until 5:30 this morning. I had a project that was due at 11 a.m. And so I worked on that project up until 5 a.m. this morning. But throughout the course of the night, I was told some things and said there was things that was said that I never said. And it really shook me to my core. And it shook me to my core because my channel and the work that I have done for the past 14 years, probably over 14 years now, has always been about victims, been about women, male victims, children. This channel is all about victims and people who have been victimized. The reason why Daryl Moore and I got in so much heated hot water was because of us defending other people and giving other people a voice to have their voices heard. Let me just say this, and let me say it very quickly. When you say to me, as a Black man who supports Black women, all of the work that I do in front of this camera and all of the work that I do off of the camera, I'm amazed that somebody could come to that conclusion. And I found it to be quite hurtful because these are people who claim to know me, love me, care about me, and be close to me. There is no way under God's green earth you could ever come to a conclusion that I do not love and support Black women. If you are on this channel, you should know by now I have a preference. The darker, the better. As a man, my preference is dark skin, Black women. Let me say this very clearly. Let me say this very clearly. I don't have anything against light-skinned women. I just have a preference. Okay. All right. Um, so it really shocked me. And I was up pretty much all night rehearsing our program and going over well, Jesse, right? Okay. No, these are workers of iniquity, Jesse. Just hang on. Mary, I want you to really pay attention to what I'm saying. Listen to me. Daryl and I have always been surrounded by people who try and, work against both of us. They try to pit me against Daryl against me. This is a pattern of behavior that Daryl and I have noticed over the years. And Daryl and I are both two men. When we have a alt against each other, or we got an issue, we tend to pick up the phone and we have a conversation with each other, and it is squashed. Okay. But we always have some people around who are always going into these private chats and doing all of these kind of having these side conversations and telling people all sorts of things that are not true. I want you to hear me very well. If somebody comes to you and tells you something about myself or Daryl, it would behoove you to talk to us and to come and listen on these programs so that you can learn our personalities and know who we are. I'm going to give you guys a great education tonight about me and this channel. Several years ago, I was on a radio program. It was me, William McRae, and the cussing pastor. Can you imagine the three amigos on that program? This was around the time that Pastor Charles Jenkins had been caught in an adulterous affair with a woman. I believe that so happened to be his secretary. I believe that was the situation. He was caught with a toothbrush in his mouth and his wee-wee out, and she snapped a photograph, right? It's so funny. Just hilarious. Hey, Tasha Global. And when I got on this program, and see, this is for people who maybe you don't know this, and you might be new to my channel. So let me explain something to you. Those people went ham on that woman on that program. They ran that woman down into the ground, into the mud. Right. Well, I do appreciate that, Steph D. Thank you so much. And I really do appreciate it. I just wanted to be clear tonight, because after what I just experienced over the last 24 hours, I will never do this again. I will never be defending myself like I had to defend myself over the last 24 hours. I'm not doing that again. So I want it forever to be on record. We was on this radio program. These people were going ham on this woman. I was the only person on this radio program that stood up for that Black woman. There are other instances that I can speak about. If you remember last night on our program, when people was in the chat running Maggie through the mud, I spoke up for Maggie. Maggie is she's a Black woman, I'm assuming. I don't really know. She's kind of racially ambiguous. I don't know. But she's a woman nonetheless, right? I spoke up for Maggie and said, hey, y'all needed to lay off of Maggie because Maggie's going through a lot. Y'all remember I spoke up and said, I don't think it's fair for y'all to say that Maggie is complicit. Y'all remember that? That was me speaking up for a Black woman. So for people to spin a narrative or try to spin a narrative that I do not speak up for Black women, I'm not standing for that at all. And the people know who they are. You're probably in the bushes somewhere. I know who you are. You know who you are, because I had a conversation with this individual. And when you try to rationally have a conversation with someone who is irrational and who doesn't want to be authentically honest in the conversation, they typically get very, very loud. And they think the louder they become, that makes what they're saying correct. No, you are wrong. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. This person actually said to me that 8 months ago, I told all of y'all it was okay for you to fornicate and live any old kind of way you wanted to live. That's what the person said. Let me clear something up with you all. I am a person who studies the etymology of the words. And here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about this. All of these people who are experts in stuff don't study anything. You think you know, but you don't know. So when someone asks you a question or challenges the stuff that you say, you get all mad because you don't have any answers to the questions. And you want to lean on other people jumping on your bandwagon in order to crucify someone else. You cannot crucify someone when they're already dead. I was dead a long time ago. You can't crucify me. I've been dead. I've been dead. I'm a dead man walking. You don't even know what that means, but it's okay. Let me say this. Let me say this. I try to be, I'm very passionate about church related topics and church related matters because of my life experiences. What I bring to this channel, ladies and gentlemen, is a wealth of knowledge and life experience in the institutional church. When I speak about a lot of the things that I speak about from a leadership standpoint, I can speak about those things because I have experienced those things. When I talk about how women have been hurt and people have been victimized in church, it's because I have had to pay money to help people get to a safe place and a safe space. This is more than just YouTube for me and in my life. I have actually had to financially support individuals who have been in rough patches and rough places and spaces. Okay. So when anybody tells you or comes to this channel and says that I do not support Black women, women, or victims, you can tell them that they are lying, because that is not the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you have followed my channel, with that being said, understand something. I will not tolerate any disrespect from any person coming over here thinking that you can say whatever you want to say to me and I'm just supposed to swallow it. Because I'm kind and because I'm respectful, you think that you can just do and say whatever you want to say. It is not going to happen. I have asked consistently when you are in this chat to be respectful of one another and to be respectful of me. That is the only thing that I have ever asked. I don't care whose chat you go into. I don't care whose YouTube channel you watch. As long as you come over here and you are respectful, I don't have a problem with you. But don't ever, ever, because you want to talk about hurtful, don't ever say to me that I don't care about victims and I don't care about Black women. My mother is a Black woman. My aunties are Black women. My sister is a Black woman. I helped to raise 2 Black women. I have a niece. I have 2 nieces and a nephew. 2 nieces and a nephew. I support Black women. I have my entire life financially support all kinds of things. So to hear somebody say, I don't support Black women is a disgusting situation. Let me also say this, because some of you don't know this. And this is probably going to get a little personal, so y'all forgive me. I moved to California because of some personal things that were going on in my home as a child. But I knew that my sister was a very young mother. By the time I came to California, my sister had a couple of kids. And I knew that when I came to California, that as a brother, that it was part of my responsibility to help my sister and to help to raise children and to make sure that we have productive citizens in the world. Okay? Listen to me very carefully. I do not have any children because I helped to raise 3 of them. 3 of them. Not because I wasn't doing anything to not get the children, but because I knew if I did a situation like that, it was going to create a situation for me, because I had a whole lot of unstableness and some situations that was going on. And I have never wanted to bring children into an unstable situation. And I knew that when I was 14 years old, because I knew and watched the behaviors of some of the men that were in my life. And I did not want to bring people into the world who, were going to have to struggle. That's just me as a man. Okay. That's a man decision that I made. Okay. But I have had tough conversations with my friends over the years. But what I've experienced over the last 24 hours has really left me shaken to my core, because people who are surrounded by me, who are supposed to know me felt some type of way. And I respect what some of them said. And that's one of the reasons why I came out here to tell you guys I apologize, because I don't want any Black woman to feel that I am being disrespectful or dishonorable to her in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I love Black women. Period. Period. I went through my white girl phase when I was in the 6th grade, got out of that phase, and I've been out of that phase a long, long time. Okay. Got out of that phase. Long, long, long time. Okay. Done. So I don't want the narrative spun. So if anyone comes to you with a bunch of malarkey, now here is the weird thing about this. Here's a weirdo thing about this, Sheridan. They didn't call me on the phone because they have my phone number. They could have called me. One of the individuals decided that they just gonna go in my chat and say some of the most disrespectful things that they can say in the middle of the night or whenever they decided to put up those stupid posts. And what I did and where I'm at right now in my life, ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all I am protecting my peace. I'm not coming on here just saying that to y'all. I really am protecting my peace. I blocked them, I deleted them, and then I called them. And one of the reasons why I get so upset at these people on the internet, the ones that I do know, if you have my phone number, we all have Facebook Messenger, and we all have the ability to call a person if you are connected to them on Facebook. You never have to resort to the comment section of any of my videos. If you know me and you know me personally, you can always call me. I feel I am probably one of the most approachable people, and I will have a conversation with anybody. Hell, I'm one of the few vloggers that I know in this space that will drop a link and will say, hey, come up here if you disagree with me, because I want to hear your disagreement. I'm not a narcissist. I don't need for everybody over here to think like me. I'm not asking you to think like me. The only thing that I ask you over here to do is to respect me. That's it. That's it. That's all I ask. But what I experienced last night, really, I'll just say over the last 24 hours, I will never let happen again. And if you feel some type of way and you insinuate all sorts of things that I never said, I'm not going to address you, and I'm not going to apologize for something that I know I don't need to apologize for, because I love Black women. I love to help victims. I have always done so. And since I'm out here, let me go ahead and say some other things. I have always supported a lot of communities. I am a former, well, they say you can't really be a former pastor. That's what they say. They say once you're a pastor, you're always a pastor. So listen up closely. Listen up closely, because some of y'all don't even know that. I have a shepherd's heart. Even when I want to hate you, I can't even do it. Whatever God did on me, he did a work on me. Because even when I'm mad and I hate a person, I can't hate them for too long. Eventually, I have to come to a place of agreement and really come to a place to where I'm just like, okay, I got to forgive and I got to let it go. But what I heard over the last 24 hours has pissed me off to no end. And really, it was so hurtful because it came from people that I love and that I care about greatly. And I want y'all to understand something. If you have people in this chat that start talking weird and start talking crazy, I want you all to address it, because I'm not addressing this anymore. I'm not addressing this anymore. I have seen other content creators have people to try to spin narratives and create all kinds of stuff. That is the dumbest stuff on the planet, for somebody to say, I don't support Black women, or I don't support victims. I don't understand what the hell that was. I really do not. I'm even trying to stop swearing so much, because I'm trying to broaden this audience and give us more individuals that we can actually have some very good conversations with. But I will not tolerate this on any level. And to the person who did what you did, you know who you are. because all you are is a worker of iniquity. I know exactly who you are. You love strife and you love trouble and you like to stir up stuff. So you listen to me. You have been blocked. You have been deleted. And I do not expect to see you ever again in life. So you can come up with all of your aliases. You can do whatever you want to on this here YouTube, and I will make sure that all of your aliases are blocked as well. And I'm asking all of the moderators here on this channel to have your trigger fingers ready, because any person that gets out of line in this chat will be dealt with. I'm sorry. I'm not tolerating it at all. You're not going to come in here and disrespect the people in my chat. You are not going to come over here and even be talking about victims and calling them all out of their name and picking at people and calling them all them names. We are too old for this. And I have a high expectation for some of you in this chat. I really do, because I know you're smart and I know you're intelligent. And I'm not about this. You're not like some of these other places and spaces. There are places and spaces where you can go and you can roast people 24/7, 30 hours a week. You can go do that at some of those other places, but that is not what I do over here. We have conversations. We spark conversations. We have intellectual conversations. That's what we do over here. Period, point blank. And hopefully, I have addressed this in the most tactful manner that I possibly could address this. I will not be addressing this anymore. I will not be addressing those individuals, that person. I will not be talking about this ever again. Okay, period, point blank. To any Black woman who felt like I was made disparaging remarks toward you, I apologize sincerely. I don't want you to ever feel that Marcella's or the Mad Church Disease channel does not love and support Black women on this here platform. But here's another thing that I want to also say, being that I am an intellectual. Let me go here for just a second. I also realize that certain people do these types of things to try to control you and control your content and control what you say. Listen to me. What did I tell y'all last night on the program? That is the same spirit as witchcraft. There's some there were some witches in our midst. I'm telling you that right now. There is some witches in our midst. You think you're going to control what I do on my platform? Really? You think I'm going to let you create a narrative and make people think that I don't honor, respect, and love Black women? Huh? And what amazed me about this person is a person that I have shared some of the most intimate things regarding my own personal life. For this person to say and try and create a narrative like that, it is tremendously hurtful. Let me share something. Oh God, I don't know if I can share this. Daryl, are you still here? Let me, because I'll use you as an example to lead into something else I want to say. But I just want to check to make sure it's okay. I'm gonna use you as an example. I can use myself as an example. Oh my God, Lori. Y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea. You have no idea. Leah, I really do appreciate you, and I am Courtney. Y'all just don't know how much I really appreciate. And Jesse, y'all just don't know. I love the fact that I am Courtney pushed back. I really do, because we were having a conversation. Let me say something. One day Daryl called me, and we was in the midst of some situations. Daryl was very emotional about something. And the only thing that he could say to me was, it's the betrayal for me. That's all he kept repeating. And when I say he was really emotional, he was very emotional. He said, Marcellus, it's the betrayal for me. He just kept saying it's the betrayal. And I understood what he said. But I'm always the person to try to have some balance, in the whole situation. And I'm like, yeah. And I even be trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm like, yeah, but I don't think it's like this. It's probably like this and blah, 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 blah. After what I just experienced over the last 24 hours, I'm just like, no. Some people are purposely trying to cause dissension and do things because they create narratives and they say things you never, ever, ever said. Listen here, Leah. I was told stuff that I never even said. I said, what? What? Don't do that. Don't do that. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. And I will drop the link. If you felt like I said something that you were offended by, you are more than welcome to address me. I will repent. I am not too big to turn around and to change and to think again. I just understand for some of you, the term might have been new. It might have been something that you had never heard before. I'm okay with acknowledging that, and I know some of you are new to you're new to my channel, and so, oh, by the way, at the same time all of this was going on, we hit 18,000 subscribers. Yay to you all, because you all are the ones that made it happen. God bless y'all. Thank y'all. Amen. Bless the Lord. We hit 18,000 subscribers last night. So listen to me. While I was up working, the thing was moving, and I said, okay, praise God. So I thank all of you. Thank all of you for, helping that to happen. And I really do. Let me tell y'all something. I know, Leah. I know. But you know what, Leah? When things like that happen to me, I'm like, God is up to something. Oh, God's going to bless me big time. Let me tell you something. Something's on the way. Something's on the way. Something's on the way. Something's on the way. And I am waiting for it. Do you hear me? And I hope to God it's real good. Let me tell you something. It's on the way. It's on the way. Let me tell you why I know it's on the way. Because I'm in a different space. I'm in a different place. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a different place. You know what I'm saying? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I agree with you guys. Thank y'all so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Thank y'all, Tasha Global. Keep working, Tasha Global. Keep working. It's a grind. I'll tell you that. It's definitely a grind. It's definitely a grind. But I really do appreciate all the work and that you all have done, because it's not me, it's you guys. You guys share the lives, you like this, the program, and I'm very, very grateful. Very, very grateful. Okay, now what else do I want to say here? Let's talk about EJ and what I was trying to convey. I personally feel like EJ is on the road to Loserville. He's about to lose a lot if he does not stop. I was so upset yesterday that I think my warning and my passion sort of overtook me. And I was so passionate out the gate that it sort of caused people who are familiar with me to somewhat be taken aback. Listen to me. Listen to me. I've always tried to live my life as a humble person. I am from the projects of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. My address. Let me see if I can. Oh Lord, now was it 2103 North Trade Street, 27105. I lived on Trade Street. Okay, that was the Kimberly projects, if you want to be specific. Okay, my life growing up was not easy, which helped me to become a humble person. The reason why I cannot be a narcissist is because I love too much and I want to see everybody win. I'm not the kind of person that want to see you fail. Even if I don't like you, y'all done heard me say a million times on this platform, everybody has a right to have their voice. Y'all done heard me say, I don't like it when they try to shut William down and keep William from having his voice. Even though I may not agree with everything William does or says, he has a right to have his voice. I don't want anybody's voice to be silenced. That's never been me. I'm not that dude. That's not who I am. But for somebody to assassinate my character, because that's how I took it. It is a character assassination to say that I, someone who works in the city, who sits on the boards of churches, somebody who works with my mayor, someone who supports the first Black city planning commissioner in the city that I live in, somebody who works for LGBTQIA causes, to tell me that I do not support Black women. And I also work for Black women's causes as well. For somebody to say that to me, that is tremendously hurtful to me, especially if you claim to be one of my friends and someone who is close to me and has been close to me. That is extremely painful. And that's the way the person meant it to be. But guess what? You will never get this opportunity ever again in life. So I hope you got out of it what you wanted. And I hope to God that you do not have to eat your words on Judgment Day for what you said in my comment section. I really do, because that was way overboard. But God bless you. You can think whatever you think. You can say whatever you want to say. But your words do not define me. Bishop Charles Blake said something many years ago, and it has become part of the mantra for my entire life. I will never let another person dictate to me what my emotional response to them is going to be. Understand something. You don't control me. You're not going to tell me what I should think, how I should feel, and what I should believe. And I'm sorry to say this. If you're someone who has behaviors that some people would classify in a certain category, I'm sorry to tell you, I don't know what to tell you, because I didn't make up the word. The word is actually found in the Bible. Just so you know. Can I share something with you? I'm not going to go to the scripture. Just understand something. I believe that the word is used interchangeably throughout the scripture. About between 15 to 17 times the word whore and harlot is found in the Bible. Just so you know. Just so you know. Just thought I'd share that with you. I didn't make the word up. It's a very old word, I guess. We can say it's an ancient word, but I didn't make the word up. And nor did I assign the behaviors that define the word. Okay? So if you're upset with me and to this person, I'm not going to do that, because I started to say something. I'm not going to do that. God bless you is all I'm going to say, because you're going to have to live with the words that you say and the things that you say. That's on you. It's not on me. You talking to a little guy that my mother was on food stamps. I ate government cheese. I never liked that powdered milk shit, so I never did the powdered milk. I did all the other stuff, but only thing I didn't take was that damn that powdered milk. I didn't even like the peanut butter that came in the can. Never did that. You talk about a humble life and a humble individual. Humility has always been a part of my life. I've never been a haughty person or a person who, esteems themselves so high. And yes, if you're mad at me for talking about myself on my own platform, where else am I supposed to talk about myself? This is my juke joint. You have every right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not feeling it, I don't know what to say. I'm trying to give you good commentary, at least adult commentary, to make you think and to spark conversation. I don't know what else to say or do. To be honest with you, I don't know what else to say or do. But I'm leaving it where it's at. But yeah, don't ever say that I don't support Black women. That is just stupid. Very dumb. And I'm sorry, saints, please cover your ears. You are full of shit when you say I do not support Black women. When you say I do not support the church community, you're full of shit. When you say I don't support the LGBTQIA community, you are full of shit. When you say that I am not a supportive person of these places and spaces, you are full of shit. You are trying to start some mess. And this is the last time on my platform I am going to address this. You will be sent this video and a link the next time somebody comes over here and tries to start some of this bullshit, because I will not tolerate it. I will not tolerate it. And all of the people in the chat, when you come over here, I expect for the people that's in this chat for you to be respected as well. I'm not going to have you having to fight when you come over here in this chat with somebody who's being egregiously rude to you. I'm not going to allow that either. You are not going to be having to fight. Jesse, you listen to me carefully. See, people don't realize I support a lot of organizations and I work behind the scenes with a lot of people. I think sometimes because I can multitask and I do a lot of stuff from my house, people assume that I don't be working or I don't have no work to do. But the mere fact that I'm sitting at this computer, I had a project that I had to finish last night. I finished it this morning at 5 something in the morning. It was due by 11 a.m. this morning. I stayed up all night, even with the bullshit I was dealing with, just to make sure that the work that I needed to have done was completed. And I had to work and deal with all of that at the same time. And at the same time, have a personal problem going on in my own life. I don't come on here and tell y'all all of those things because it's just not what I do. I don't do that. But people think because you come on here, you laugh, you chuck it up, you have fun. They think, oh, he doesn't have anything in his life going on. Everything is great. So I can just say whatever the hell I want to say to him. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm over it. Don't do that. Don't do that. I have supported prisoners. I've helped people get out of prison. And I ain't even talking about Matthew Russian. Do you all not know? It's on this channel. You can find it. If you're a member of the channel, I believe you it's in the membership area. Do you all not know that the California 3 strikes law that was reversed, you're looking at a man who is partly responsible for helping the 3 strikes law to be reversed in the state of California? Do you know that? Do you not know there's a video on this whole channel that will show me with a bullhorn in my hand giving a speech at a rally here in Los Angeles? You do you all not know you are dealing with a person who is civically involved consistently with a lot of causes? But for somebody to come on this internet and say, I do not support a black woman, you have lost your rabbit mind. You have lost your rabbit mind. You've lost your mind. Now, I realize some of you in the bushes, you have to be in the bushes because people tell you you can't come over here in the chat and you can't be seen because you got to give an account and you got to check in and they're going to hold you up against the digital wall and demand loyalty out of you. I get it. And I understand it because some of you can't be seen over here. I get it. The only thing I ever ask, can you just please hit the like button? Because they don't know when you hit the like button. So please hit the like button. It's free. I realize that some of you are never going to support the platform because they won't let you. I understand. I get it. Just please hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. I know this was a weirdo conversation for me to be starting off tonight to have, because most of y'all know I don't even do this kind of stuff. I have never, in all the years that I've ever had to do this, this is the only time literally that I've ever had to do this. But I realize the internet is a different place now and a different space. And people literally, their whole mission on the internet is to agitate you and to create these kind of narratives so that you'll be thrown off your rocker and you constantly keep having to defend yourself and fight with people and fight with people and fight with people. I'm not doing this. I am not doing this ever again. Not going to do this ever again. Let me just tell you, there will be a great shift if I ever have to come out on this platform and ever have to address anything like this ever again. Trust me, some things will be moved around. That is for absolute sure, because I will not tolerate that anymore. This is a wrap for me. Okay, it is what it is. Now, y'all better pray for EJ because EJ is not going to win. He thinks he's going to win and he thinks he's about to be victorious, but he is not going to win. Just like Dwayne Youngblood better hope and co-conspirator number one, they better pray to God that there's crop failure in Texas. They better pray that there's some fruit that dies on the vine and cannot prosecute them. Because I'm here to tell you, these people with these bad motives and these ulterior motives that are always seeking to devour people's lives and to secretly do things to upend the peace of other people. Listen to me real carefully. You're going to find yourself in a horrible predicament if you keep up that kind of life. That's why Dwayne Youngblood's behind has had the type of life that he has had, because these people are undermining and they are hateful. They are hateful. They are hateful and they're mean. Listen here. I was supporting EJ. I was one of the first people to support EJ. I no longer feel that anymore. I cannot, in good conscience, support EJ anymore because what I saw, all of that cackling and laughing and banter back and forth while you talking the way you talking and them down sex text messages and all that stuff. That's disgusting. It is so disgusting to me. I'm just saying. It really truly is. It really is. I'm sorry. I just have to be myself, y'all. I really do. Yeah, he probably changed his underwear. Hopefully. Well, oh, wait a minute. He don't like to wear underwear. That's right. I forgot about that. Anyway, let me get on off of that subject. I'm gonna drop the link. If any person feels that you need to address me and you want to say something, you are free to come up. You are free to address it. Um, I'm an open book. You know what I'm saying? I talk more about myself and give you guys my life because I want you to know I've had struggles. We've all had struggles. I had a very difficult situation coming up as a kid. I haven't even told y'all all the stuff yet, and we'll get there. We'll get there, but I just haven't told you because first of all, I have to get myself into a spiritual place to where I can tell it and be respectful to all of the parties that were involved. That's why I haven't told y'all. And then let me say something too. You know, if I did tell y'all all my testimony and all of the stuff that I've done as an adult, some of y'all probably wouldn't even want to be friends with me no more because I did live a little bit of a wild situation. When I say I was a whore for a little while, I was a whore for a little while. I'm just gonna say that. I, for sure that was person, and that's why I said I was a whore. Go ahead.
What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Uh, Protect your peace, brother. I'm gonna say it like that. Protect your peace. Um, in order for me to do that, I had to step back for a minute, and that's why I hadn't been on as much because it was when I always vowed that if this thing got to be stressing me out, I wasn't gonna do it. So I stepped back, regroup, refocus, and when I feel like doing something, I do it. When I don't feel like doing it, I don't. Um, I may lose some subscribers. That's fine and well because I just refuse to come on and do drama content 24/7. That's just not what I'm gonna be doing. I just ain't doing it. Uh, I interviewed somebody that's a black man that's got a grocery store in a community. He's one of the few black grocers in the country, and that video barely got a peep. But let me come up and do some drama. Oh, everybody and their mama tune in, and I'm just sick of it. So I just, I stay in the background, look around. People are always hitting me up saying, "Daryl, when you coming back?" I say, "I ain't never went nowhere. I'm just regrouping,"
Right.
and that's it. But man,
Right.
you protect your peace and your peace of mind and your health and your sanity is worth more than any click like of you, brother.
Yeah, this was an interesting 24 hours. Jesse, you have the floor, sir. Go right ahead.
First of all, congratulations on your 18K
Thank you, sir.
and your 13K on your video from Friday because that's really what has these people mad.
I think you might be right.
No, definitely right. And I last night when we were on, I was tired and I wasn't planning on staying on that long. But a lot of times, like even if I'm like talking on St. James platform, like I'll just get caught up in it. Like 2 hours been done passed by. So But anyway, so um last night I noticed that the chat was really weird. Um, I'm not as well acquainted to your chat to know who is who,
Right.
but and it was late because I'm on the East Coast, so
Right.
I'm like, who are these people like on this in this chat? And I kind of wanted to go left, but I'm like, I don't really be over here, jumping on your stream yard like that. So I don't want to disrespect his platform, but something in my spirit wanted to go left with these people that was in that chat last night. And to know that, like, coming back now a day later, that people were sent over here and people were, being workers of iniquity, as you said, knowing that now, I'm like, you know what? These people are really crazy because
Right.
it's not that damn serious. Like you alluded to before, nobody knows a lot of the like this whole YouTube set, even Lovey. He's not that popular. If you go and ask my 59 soon to be 60-year-old mother who Lovey is, she's not going to know. If you
Right.
ask some of my coworkers who go to church, if you know who Lovey is, they're not going to know. So ain't none of this stuff really that serious for real, for
Absolutely.
real. And
Absolutely.
for people to be going around trying to attack people's character, y'all need to grow the FUC up. Like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
It really is. It really it kicked me to my core, you all, because the person, one of the people I truly love, it just really, this is a person that is close to me, and or was close to me, and I'm thinking, if you're thinking this way, and believe it or not, I'm gonna be totally transparent. One of another person who's close to me said something to me, and they said, and I took what they said to heart, because I know the way they conveyed the message to me, it was a little bit more tactful and respectful. So I said, if this person is feeling this way, I know there's some other people who are possibly feeling the same way. And because I love them, I don't want them to feel like I'm disrespecting Black women. And I know that I had a very passionate show, because most people were not used to me coming out of the gate the way that I came out of the gate. Even I am Courtney said last night, she said, I wasn't used to that, because when you came out, you was just like guns a blazing. Go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
Mary. Go ahead, Mary. I want
Oh,
to let
Kim, before Mary comes up, goes on, and I'm probably gonna just go off after this. But I was just gonna say, that's kind of why, because like I didn't really want to come on, but I saw where the chat was going, and not every single point I agree with you on, and I said that last night, but I saw that it was kind of going left, and I understood where you were coming from as from the male perspective, and also coming from a more Pentecostal perspective. So I didn't want to see you go down the drain, and that's what I was hoping to bring out and balance out, and it still didn't get anything accomplished with some of these people. So but I'm just gonna jump off tonight. I hope everyone has a good evening.
good. Thank you so much, Jesse. I really do appreciate it. If I seem exhausted, it's because I am. Mary, go ahead.
Yeah, and no, and I think that was part of the reason why I also hopped up yesterday is because I'm just like, okay, okay, okay. Like people, I don't know if it was, people sent from the other camp or whatever it was, but I'm like, anyone who has truly listened to the platform, and mind you, I'm fairly new to the MCD crew as well, like super new compared to, the a lot of the people who, felt that way, who have known you and they were close to you. So that's why I'm just like, for them, I can definitely see the betrayal in that part. Obviously, the ones from the other camp, it's like, okay,
You know what?
whatever.
I'll be honest with you, Mary. I don't really. For those people over there is fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But it's like when somebody is close to you or claim that they
Yes.
know you or have been around you, and all of a sudden they're saying things to you like years later, and you're just like, wait a minute, where did that come from? Like, you've been around me more than all of these folks. So it was a shocker to me. And I'm just
Right. And that's the part that I'm just like, okay, I go through, I watch older videos, I try to get caught up, just to get some
right.
background story on things, etc. So like for me, the people sent from the other camps are clearly not the ones that need to hear this message because they're gonna do what they do. But I just know for me, in the short time that I've been over here in the interactions, I have definitely seen you, I feel like you probably hype up women, Black women specifically, more than some of the other content creators who think they are trying to hype them up. And I think that's why it was so shocking for me. And I was just like, so like last night, like Jesse said, when the chat started to go left, it was one of those things where it's just like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Are y'all, I'm like, did I miss something? Is there a whole different Marcellus that we are not familiar with? Because it confused me so much. But I just want to let people know I'm not, like I have had offline conversations with Marcellus and I have never once felt disrespected. I have seen him sing the praises of many women on his platform in my short time being here. So I don't think that would be anything that he would have just conjured up for the sake of, oh, I want to be likable and then try to ruin it all in one night.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Mary. As an adult, and maybe because I'm an older person, I'll get to you soon, Myron. I'm coming around. As an older person, I just expect for older people or more mature people to be able to digest some things. And I know that that is a lofty idea, because not everybody is, just because you're older doesn't mean that you have the ability to do it. But I keep telling you all in this chat, I have such a high expectation of you, because I feel like we should be mature enough to not agree along, but still be able to get along. I don't feel like I should have to come to this platform or this chat and have an adverse opinion than yours, but you feel so distraught over my opinion that you don't feel like I'm valuing your opinion and giving you an opportunity to have your thoughts and your voice heard. I don't ever want that to be the case. You understand? I want everybody over here to know. Now, I'm not talking about other people's platform. Now, what goes on over there is their business. But when you come over here, I want you to know that you're valued and your thoughts are valued. That's why I dropped the link. That's why I want to hear from you. And I know, it's a lot, but I do. I try to hear you. I try to hear what you guys are saying. So
Yeah,
that's,
and I think Jesse came back up.
yeah, he
Um,
did.
oh,
There he is.
okay. But yeah, and I think that it's not fair because, like, again, I don't know in terms of the ones who are close to you, like, other than having that virtual space and the personal phone calls. It's like, how could you, like, if the roles were reversed, how would you feel if I came and attacked your character after we shared those moments of vulnerability with each other? Like, I don't know. And maybe that's just me. Like, I don't, on mad day, I don't air somebody out. Or if I
Mm.
misunderstood something, and then for all of a sudden, like, telling you stuff you never said.
And
Right.
and another thing, and that's how I know some of these people haven't gone to church in 30, 35, 40 years. Because that, and I'm, a millennial, but the churches that I grew up in, if you were a whore, you were a whore. And that's what it was. They just called it out like that.
Right.
Marcellus comes from what I'm used to,
Mm-hmm.
so and then
Exactly.
people be getting all mad and upset, just like down there in Virginia that time when that bishop had made that young girl, whether you agreed or disagreed. I
You
was just
talking
like,
about
that's
Terry
no
Jackson?
Terry Jackson,
Mhm.
true vine apostolic to be exact. um when that happened, he made the girl get up there. I was like, I'm used to that. Like, that's
Right.
not a big deal. Like, people were crying and stuff over there, and I was like, hey, I done seen it before. So, you just come from a different cloth, and I think people really haven't been in church, and they're judging your normacy based off of what they want to hear,
Right.
and that's not fair. And then before you go there, another thing, and I've said this before, and I've kind of made joke of light of it, but I legit cannot stand, as a millennial, I cannot stand millennial leadership in churches, because they want to cherry pick how they want to live holy. And somebody needs to call it out. Somebody should have been called it out. I've been noticing that pattern for a long time, regardless of how I live my life or whatever. But when it comes down to church,
Right.
it's certain things that's just been going on for a very long time with millennials specifically that should not have been going on.
Well, I'll tell you something that was said to me today, Jesse. They said, Marcellus, you walked away from YouTube for quite a long time. This is a new YouTube. They say you're dealing with a new, different breed of people. And I really have to tell y'all, just based on my experience so far, I have to agree with them. Because some of this stuff that I'm having to do and say back in the day, I don't know, we just didn't have these types of issues. And I do realize, that it is different. And I do realize that I'm getting older, and I do try to say, okay, well, Marcellus, you might want to change some of your speech, because, Daryl didn't like it when I used the R word, and some of the people don't like it when I use the R word. And I was like, okay, I won't be using the R word no more, but that's what the word that I was always accustomed to, because it just hit straight home and there was no confusion about the word.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think, we say stuff, and in my generation, we say stuff and then you walk away confused. You'd be like, well, is it really this way, or what is it this way? Is it this way? You don't know. And so yeah, and Myron, I left you a message in the private chat there, so
But
take a look at the message.
at the end of the day,
Mhm.
we get so sensitive about specific terms, and there's something going on also in the secular world. I'm not gonna bring that up, but it's something also going on in the secular world that I can think of right now, where people are getting so caught up in people using offensive terms, but y'all don't be having no discernment. Y'all can't check yourself to figure out, hey, is this an offensive term that this person is using to try to put people down, or is this just the way that this person talks? Is that just their background? Because people be so quick to try to fight and argue all the time, like they
Right.
on Twitter, but you're not opening up and listening to what people are saying. And I'm
Right.
sick of this shit.
Right, I know. And the funny thing is, I was like, when I experienced it, I said, okay. Now, to some people who are close to me that said they felt some type of way, I respected what they said, and I'm really taking more or less from them than I am this agitating person, because I know this agitating person is really sent to agitate me, and because that's what they do. So I know what they're doing. But to the people that are surrounding me, I don't want no woman that's close to me ever to feel like I, as a black man, do not respect, honor, cherish, and understand a black
And
woman.
you said that last night. You kept apologizing and kept saying, you know what? I think I might have overstepped my boundaries. So, and I was dead tired. It was 3 o'clock in the morning last night when you were, we were wrapping everything
Right.
up. So you kept saying that. So I'm trying to figure out why people are trying to pick a fight with you, or, trying to put you down or make you feel bad, when at the end of the day, again, like I said about Larry Reed, we wouldn't know your tea, and we wouldn't have an opinion on nobody's tea if y'all shut up and quit coming on YouTube. Do y'all not write books anymore?
I don't think they do. And that is the sad part. And that's the hard part. Now, Myron, I'll deal with your stuff offline. I got your information, just so that you know. And I'll take care of that. We'll talk about that offline, just so you know. So um yeah, so it is very, very difficult. It's a difficult thing, but I'm trying to learn, Jesse, and you guys on this platform, Mary. I'm trying to learn how to navigate my way around this, because, to be honest with you, when you're really an authentic person and you're being your authentic self, sometimes it could be really hard when, the people that are closest to you, that you expect to know you, are like coming out of left field. And you be like, "No, wait a minute." And I'm not really used to that. I have to be honest with y'all. I ain't used to that at all. Like, the people who know me in my life, I sit down and have conversations with. We have great dialogue. If they have a problem with me, we have our back and forth. We go our way in peace. We don't curse at one another. We don't call each other names. You understand what I'm saying? I live a different type of life. I have a different type of sect of friends. So when things go left in my life, I start, like, I have to pause and be like, and I look at me. I don't even be looking at the other people. I be like, okay, Lord, what did I do? Like, how do I fix this? What misstep did I make? I spent the majority of my evening last night trying to figure out, okay, where did I go wrong and what mistake did I make? Now, on one of the things I did last night, and I can't talk about, I did make an error. I messed up. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. I did mess up on one thing last night, and I talked it out, and was able to come to a resolve with the mistake that I made last night. But I would just simply tell y'all this: it's hard out here for a pimp.
No, it's hard for the real, for real.
Oh my God, it's hard out here, man. I'm just like, man.
Yeah, it, well, and then just like Jesse said, because like I feel like if I, because I was raised Southern Baptist, so I feel like when I sit down with my aunties and even my like my cousins who are older than me, and I'm like, okay, that stuff that they say all the time, and I get that not everybody was raised that way or can discern you know, that's not how you think as a person, if that makes sense.
Really?
But I'm just like, there's certain words and phrases, like you said, I, for one, definitely try to make sure I'm politically correct when I say certain things.
Mhm.
But let's be honest, when we're sitting and we're talking to our cousins and our grandparents and great aunts and all those people who are generations older than us, like, let's be real. Let's be real, y'all. Like, I don't it's clearly not a view that you feel all black women are a certain way or whatever. It's like, why are we taking stuff out of context to find something to be offended about? I think that's what I'm tired of.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah, yeah.
looking for something to be offended about.
Listen
Like
here.
today, I want to be offended.
It's amazing my head didn't explode. Cause when all of it broke out, you should have saw me over here. I was literally shaking. I was literally shaking. Like, wait a minute, what just happened here? I was like, okay,
Right,
because I'm
right.
trying to
Like,
figure out
huh?
where I
How
went
did
wrong.
we
I'm
get
like, okay.
here?
My stomach was like, I was like, what in the world just happened here? It was like a light switch. It's like something like flip. And I was like, holy cannoli, what just happened here? And then, believe it or not, I had another content creator tell me, they said, I was watching and I knew there was gonna be smoke in the city. That's what they told me.
No, I know. I definitely,
Yeah,
definitely
we
knew
all
that.
kind of did.
Yeah, even when the chat was going left, and like I said, that's the only reason why I had came up. I had no intention on coming up because I honestly, like Leah had said last night, I don't watch EJ. I hate to say it like this, but they're insignificant to me. Lovey is too. A lot of this stuff. A lot of this is entertainment for me.
Right,
Exactly.
I don't know these people, and I'm not going to go watch their
right,
videos. I have no interest in watching their videos. I only comment on my personal experiences or where I can draw from, but in what I'm seeing in churches, with my own two eyes, currently and historically, that's all I'm talking about. All of this, all their personal lives. I hope you're like me, Marcellus, where we kind of just don't care at the end of the day, and I think people think that
they do. They
everybody
think we
cares.
do.
Yeah,
They do. They
nobody
think we do.
cares.
Daryl, welcome to the platform, sir.
What's going on, y'all? Good evening, everybody. It's
Good
good
evening.
to hope everybody had a good holiday. I just had to hop in for a second because I want to just piggyback what everybody is saying. I didn't watch I watched the replay this morning. I wasn't on last night because when I went to bed. It was like y'all was up to like 3 a.m. like y'all said, but I agree with everybody. Like the vibe on the chat was just off last night. I don't know what it was, but it just felt weird. It was confrontational at times, and I was just like, "What's what's going on here? This ain't regular." So I don't know what it was, but just something to think about. But I just wanted to encourage you, Marcellus. Like, look. I dealt with betrayal. I dealt with people that brought into your family, thought they were cool, and all of a sudden they just go left on you. And it's a harsh situation, but like how Daryl said before, you gotta protect your peace, bro. You're doing great work. I love your commentary. I love the work that you're doing, especially right now, like times such as this. I just want to encourage you to you know, don't worry about what the naysayers got to say. The devil is busy. We already know that. Especially, I watched the replay on Friday. It was great commentary, like Jesse said before. It is an attack because we know the naysayers and the crazy folks are cutting up like they were. I also agree with you, Jesse. I ain't never heard of EJ and Lovey a day in my life, and I don't care to hear from them because they just nothing but
But
foolishness.
Tasha Global said something a few minutes ago in the chat, and I didn't put it up on the screen, but I want to talk about that for just a second. The reason why I stayed away in the beginning from the Lovey and the EJ thing, because their energy is very dark.
Mhm.
These people with
Yeah.
owls, monitoring spirits, and they believe in all this juju and hooboo and boo boo. I just stay away from that. First of all, because it's just not something that I ascribe to. And believe it or not, I'm about to get myself into trouble. A lot of this sexual perversion, in my opinion, and just based on the scripture, is really demonic situations. It's just demonic situations. And I was so angry yesterday at EJ and them playing in our face. That's how I felt. I'm just being honest. You over there as a whole pastor of a whole church, playing in the faces of the public and smirking and smiling when this woman starts reading off of these little sex text messages and all the thing. I was really disgusted by it. And the energy is dark. All of that is dark to me. It really, really is. And I was angry. If I'm gonna, now, you that's one time y'all can say I was mad. I really was mad. And I wasn't even mad at Sheridan. I was mad at EJ. And I kept trying to tell y'all yesterday, this really isn't about Sheridan. This is about EJ. And I even kept trying to bring the conversation back to EJ
Hmm.
because it
Yeah.
was EJ.
It was definitely a chat, and you talking, well, Tarsha's point, and then also you talking just now just made me think about the verse in the Bible, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood but against
Mhm.
principalities, so that's all that is. As soon as you start talking about a certain subject, you get all these weird people that I've never seen before come around before, and I'm like, yeah, so that's all that is, and with them being from a different continent,
Mhm.
I don't know what they got going on, but
Yeah. Well, I've just said you're not gonna hoodoo juju me because you can't hoodoo what God is fixed. I'm good. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I'm saying here clearly that my program last night was not about bashing black women. It was not to attack a black woman. My program and what I do over here is to uplift black people. If y'all watch my program, I even tell y'all how much I love black people. I love all my black people, the ones in Walmart with their pajamas on. Y'all have to understand when I tell y'all I come from the bottom. You understand? So I don't live in a lofty position like I'm other than those black people. I love my people. And I think what really is egregious to me is when somebody starts telling me that I don't love black women or I don't love black people. That just pisses me off because I fight for black people. I go to war for black people, not just on YouTube. I'm out here in the streets. So it's a little bit different for me. So when you
And I
start
think that adds to that layer of betrayal because that person close to you knows that you do these things.
Mhm.
absolutely, they know, but they spin narratives and they have stayed around the peripheral to create drama still. And that's how they get their little rocks off, is creating drama and trying to create dissension between me and Daryl, and others, and it's just, to me, I've had my feel of it. I've never said anything publicly. I've never talked about it publicly. I'm not, as y'all notice, I have not said a single name on this platform. I am not going to do that. Just simply understand this. This is the last day that I will ever have a conversation like this on this platform.
Well, you do know some of them people get paid to come and agitate, right?
That's crazy to me. They probably do, Daryl. You're probably right. At this point, I ain't even gonna say none of that is not possible, because you used to say stuff like that, and I'd be like, nah, you think? I'd be like, nah, I don't think so. You probably right. You probably right.
I don't put nothing past none of these jokers. If
Well, my
anybody,
thing is the payday worth it? Because quick money ain't always good money. So that little payday
exactly.
that you got, is it worth the benefits that you would be losing in having a resource like Marcellus? I'm just saying.
Oh no, they don't care. Long as they don't have to eat Lunchables 3 times a day, they'll sell their soul to the devil. Hey,
I ain't gonna much lie to you. Some days I'd be like, dang, are the Lunchables $1 today? Because I'd be wanting to go back to my childhood a little bit. Like, dang, are the ramen noodles 10 for 10 like they used to be back in the good old days? I'd be
no,
wanting to
not
go
no more.
back.
Well, I want y'all to know something. If you come in this chat and you start talking off the wall and you see your comment disappear, just understand something. It don't mean I hate you or I'm mad at you. It just means we are self-regulating over here. I'm not about to let a lot of stuff be going on in this chat. I don't pay attention to the chat because I trust the moderators. Okay. I
Mhm.
trust the moderators here. So if you see your chat, your message disappear, it's because you are breaking the rule. And the rule is you need to be respectful of the people on the platform, and you also need to be respectful to the other people that are in this chat. We are not doing that over here.
Yeah, because they totally railroad your conversation several times over. You kept trying to go back, and people just were so caught up on you saying the word whore when that's just church lingo, honestly. But you know, but they just kept railroading it, and I wanted to go off so bad, but I was like, I don't want to be
Yeah.
disrespectful. This ain't St. James, so I know this a
But
little
y'all
bit
have
more.
seen me come up on the platform and tell people to stay on the topic and stay on the subject. Y'all done see me tell people, hey, don't come over here and be talking all off the wall. And I'm
Yeah,
thinking that you would continue to get the message and understand. So if you hear me say, and I throw a warning shot to you to say, hey, stay on the topic, don't be going all off into the rafters. Stay on what we're actually talking about.
cause
I'm not
Sister
trying
Momo.
Right. I'm not trying to control you. I'm just trying to tell you in order for us to have a productive conversation, let's stay within the confines of what we're actually talking about. That's it. Go ahead, Leah.
Hi, y'all. Good evening, everybody. Hi, gentlemen. Hey, Mari.
I'm good.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, hey.
Well,
Okay, I know I'll be setting fires, and I know I'll be putting putting fluid on the fire and making it bigger. But I just want to say I hope that I wasn't a problem last night, but I stand 10 toes on what I said. Um, I just believe that we need to stop redirecting conversations and stand on business. If you are a participant in something and you get burned by said situation, accept that you were used, abused, or whatever, but also accept your part in it, period. And I still love you. I'm a black woman. I've had my feelings hurt before, but I also understand that I made some bad decisions down the road as well. So if that
I
hurt, I apologize.
Right. Well, Leah, you're a beautiful black woman. uh you guys should know I would never do anything, Mary, to disrespect you, to make you feel like you are unworthy or you're not a worthy individual. And therefore, with me saying that, I just want to simply say people should stop with their narrative. And I just don't worry, y'all, this ain't gonna never happen again, because if somebody starts some crap again, I'm gonna forward this video to them and tell them to suck both my nuts. And I'm really serious, because this is
Mm.
this is the limit that I'm having with this whole situation. I'm just being real honest, and I didn't mean to be vulgar and go there, but I just wanted you to know I'm that nigga. But go ahead.
But the other thing that I was just going to add is I think that the other thing to put into context is even when you feel that you are going to say something offensive, you make sure to either catch yourself or, like you said time and time before, there are certain things you don't put in like the group chat because it might offend a certain person because they're the married, like, they're a married female or what have
Mm-hmm.
you. There's certain jokes you don't tell. So I'm just like, as mindful as you are of those things privately and on screen, for it to be misconstrued regardless of how we agree, disagree, or feel like,
Right.
oh, like, that came off a little harsh. If the intent was never to put down women or black women.
And I
And
know
then,
go ahead, but I'm coming to you, Jesse. And I know
mm,
we're primarily church people over here. But the reason what makes me really nervous about this too, what y'all gonna do when my guests show up? Cause see, that's the thing that makes me really, really nervous. Cause I've got some authors, some world-renowned people that are going to be hitting this platform. And this makes me really, really nervous because I'm like, they're going to say some things that you've never heard before, and it's going to probably challenge your theological position. What are you going to do? Are you going to attack them? Are you going to say all of these mean and crazy things? I'm like, what the hell? That I'm not that dude. This ain't that kind of program. So just understand, I'm going to bring some people who are going to push all of us, that are going to make us double think and go back and study and think about some things. That's what I do. Go ahead, Jesse.
I was gonna expound on Leah and Mary. Mary. I want to say I'm sorry, Mari's point. I have to. I can't. I don't want to say Mary Mary. I want to say Mari. But I want to expound on their point. So you know, on this whole YouTube church sector, you know, I've heard so many offensive things from people that's even offensive to me personally. Um, and but I feel like I'm like, y'all don't never say nothing to these people who are actually being offensive, who are being very vindictive and coming in a very nasty spirit. Y'all never say anything to these people. And don't sit up here and lie to me and say that y'all do check folk. Cause I don't ever see anybody being checked. Nobody ever jumps on StreamYard links from what I've seen.
Right.
And for one person to get caught, say the word whore, and you get fixated on that and want to demonize this person, even when they're thinking to themselves like, hey, maybe I did make a mistake, maybe that was offensive, let me apologize. You even allow other people to come on your platform and have, knowing that they were going to have a different perspective.
Right.
But that on these other platforms, that's not what's going on. It's their way or the highway.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. And I see it and I'm gonna call it out.
Listen, Nakia is right. I think it's selective off offense. People are very selective in what they truly get offended by. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just having a conversation. I'm a black man. I realize it's coming from a black man. I guess that because this is kind of how it was conveyed to me. Black women. Oh, Leah, is that you again? Wait a minute. I just heard something. Hold on,
No,
give me one. Oh,
I'm
that's
right
not
here.
Courtney. I'm sorry. I was like, wait a minute, is that
Like,
two
I'm right
Leahs?
here.
Li- Listen, the person said this to me, and this is why I respect them and I love them, and I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. They said to me, black women have been called that name so much and had to fight so much being called that name that it becomes very offensive, and because black women have had to fight and had to fight so much by being called that. And here's the thing, and I understand and I get it and I respect their position. So that's why I said I would apologize, because I don't want no black woman to ever think that I think black women are whores or all women are whores and all that kind of stuff. I would never think that. But on the flip side of that, here's the other side to that for me. Me. You know what I'm saying? And if you know me, you should know that I would never do anything on this platform to victimize individuals, or to be that dude that would cause you to come up and to, have somebody to make you feel a certain type of way. So you need to learn me and learn this platform. That's why I have a private membership, so that we can exchange stuff and you can get to know me better. And I'm going to do better with this private membership, because I feel like I'm going to need some people that really get to know me, so y'all can really understand me even better. Because I'm like, wait a minute, y'all, I am from the projects. Like, what the hell? I don't know where in the world people can concoct this stuff. And when it comes
But
to me,
but a lot of this, and I'm gonna, let you continue on with the rest of the panelists. But a lot of this is your generational break and divide. And a lot of millennials, and it's not just black women, but it's just everybody in general, millennials and Gen Z. No one wants to be corrected. No one has
Mhm.
really ever been corrected, and everybody thinks they're right. Everybody's so quick to be offended about everything. And then not only do you have the millennials and Gen Z who feel that way because their parents never took out that belt and whipped that ass the
Yeah.
way they were supposed to,
Well, a
but
lot of
you
people, yeah,
also
a lot of y'all, Jesse, are praying for a praying spirit. I be praying to God, Lord, can you help me hate more? Cause
Listen,
I can't seem to when I want to hate, I can't. It just don't stick to me. It slide right on up off
and
me.
ain't nothing wrong with, a little bit of hate. You ain't supposed to
Lord, I wish
love
I could.
everything. This ain't supposed to be the love fest. I'm not supposed
No.
to love everybody.
Right,
Okay. Well,
right.
I'm supposed to, treat everybody with respect, but I'm not gonna love everything you do. I don't care who you are. But I'm gonna disagree with some stuff, but you can't disagree with nobody no more. You can't correct nobody. Everybody think they know everything, and then you have, people, unfortunately, your age and older, y'all was that, oh, this my baby generation, you ain't gonna tell my baby this, that, and the third, back
Mm,
when when my granddad, was alive, it took a village. Miss Mabel down the street, if she saw you doing something, she used to whoop your ass. But
yeah,
now this is a whole different generation, and
yeah,
they don't want no correction from
yeah.
nobody.
I wish I knew who was the digital ass whooper, because I'd send some people on the
It's
prowl.
about
So
to be me.
listen, listen. I am Courtney. You got the floor.
Oh, hey. All right. Good evening, everybody. So I want to start off by saying thank you for the opportunity for opposition.
Hmm. I love it when
Because
you come up. You don't know that by now.
because I totally, just being honest, I totally disagree. But you just said something before, right as I was coming up, you said something that echoed the sentiments of my heart. And that was, women have gone through a lot, and they have gone through, being called that name a lot,
Right,
and it being used loosely, right?
right.
But then couple it with this type of situation as it pertains to, pastors, um, sleeping around with the women in the church and things of that nature, has been going on for a very long time. And it was always the woman who had to be hushed, go sit over there. Women wasn't speaking up back then, right? And
Mm,
so that's the only part, where we disagreed. We agreed with EJ, you
right,
know, and I believe that we had a respectful conversation, or,
right.
or discourse at the end of the day.
Did you leave the conversation, Courtney, thinking I hate black women and I don't love black women?
Can I be very honest with you?
Yes, please.
At the beginning of your discourse, I did feel that way.
Okay, because I remember you did say that.
I ran, you dropped the link, I ran. I feel
Right.
like I might have been the first person,
You
right?
you did say it. You said it.
By the time the conversation ended, we left off, I felt, in a decent space where
Mm,
everybody heard everybody and we understood. And I believe I mentioned this last night. It was kind of like, how, and I hate to bring this up, but how William calls children bastards,
uh-huh.
and he says, he doesn't see anything wrong with it because it's in the Bible. Like, that's
Right.
kind of how it felt.
Right. Well, and I want you to understand something. And this will help you guys understand me a little better. I am a person who really loves words. I am a linguist. I love language. Okay. I am a person who studies the words, the etymology of the words, and I like I deep dive into the words. And I think sometimes, because I'm thinking of the definition of the word, even though I may say the word, there's something in my mind behind it, several meanings of the word that I'm thinking that you're possibly not even thinking. Okay, when I say certain words, when
Hmm.
I talk about whorish behavior or whores, it is not necessarily the individual, because as far as I understand, and the word, it is more or less having to do with a behavior, not necessarily the person. What makes a person, according to the scripture, a whore is the behavior, right? It is what the person is doing versus, that individual. It's not necessarily the personhood of the person that's the whore. It is the activity that classifies you as a whore. So when I was having that discourse, I wasn't necessarily talking about all black women. I wasn't talking about all women in general. I was actually dealing with the subject matter in the context. And that was what I kept saying all last night. In the context of this conversation, y'all kept hearing me say that. This is what I'm talking about. And so that's where I think the disconnect. Now, I'm Courtney. I love when you come up because I know I'm going to get some pushback and I look forward to it because I know you can do it in a respectful manner and you are going to push back. Even Jesse pushed back on me last night. And so I was like, okay, I'll take it. I'm humble enough to take it. Um, it is what it is, but I'm glad you're honest about it. I don't want anyone to ever come to this platform and feel that I don't support a black woman. That's
Um,
I'm gonna tell y'all that's gonna become a real sense of contention for me around here. People come around here trying to talk like that. You're gonna find the exit so fast because that just is not me and that just is not my life. And I work too darn hard. I'm just saying.
Hold on, excuse me. Someone said just because you don't want to hear it doesn't make it wrong.
Wait,
Let's
how did
sit
I
with
hit
that
the
for a
wrong button?
second. Just because you don't want to hear it doesn't make it wrong. So if a white person calls you a nigger, just because you don't want to hear it doesn't make it wrong.
well,
That's the
that's
real. That's off the deep end. Now, come on, Courtney.
yeah,
He was
that's
talking about. I mean, you sis, you already know. I always start off with "I love you to
I'm
pieces,"
listening.
but at what point are we going to stop perpetuating victimhood? At the end of the day, there are snakes in the grass. At the end of the day, there are whoremongers in the church. At the end of the day, there are devils. There are people who are going to manipulate. There are people who are going to use you. You can only be responsible for you. That's it. And so, why is it that as a culture, we have to take on this victimhood as a woman? I understand the nuances of where we've come from. So, I'm not speaking to the history, I'm speaking to moving forward. At what point are we going to stand up and say, listen, when I looked at this preacher, there was something about me being able to park in the front parking stall. There was something about me being able to wear the biggest and fanciest hats. There was something about me being called the first lady or the first bishop's wife or this or that intrigued me. The honesty behind a lot of our situations is never really given. It's always the man took advantage of me, he manipulated me, and I wanted nothing to do with it. If that was the case, it would have been a shorter lived, according to the context of the women we're talking about, from
Right.
what I understand. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about every person. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
this Lovey, whatever this whole love triangle
Right.
thing they got going on. You won't keep going back. Again, my pain receptors are up. If you hurt me once in a space, I know it hurts, so I'm not going to let you hit that space again, especially if I have an open wound. You can't go and then put your finger in the open wound and work it around and make me even experience more excruciating pain. So I'm just like, I respect people who have gone through things, but at what point are we going to stand up and just be accountable for us? I could get into a relationship tomorrow where the person could be a downright dog. But if I keep going back for 3 years and 4 years and 5 years, and everybody's telling me this is the situation, but I keep going back, at some point I'm gonna have to be accountable for my part in it as well.
I
That's
don't
all I'm
Mm-hmm.
think
saying.
accountability is an issue. Accountability is not an issue. We determined last night these ladies took accountability. They're working on moving forward. They're not going back based upon what they said. Here's the thing, Leah. But if I turn around and say, Leah, and Marcellus, this is not directed towards
It's
you.
okay. Go for it.
Leah, you are a whore for going through that. You supposed to be like, okay, you're right. I take
no. I
full.
mean, it's
No.
not.
That
She's
doesn't make you
not.
a whore. You were in a relationship.
No.
Oh, that
No,
depends. That's nuance. But
no, come
carry
on
on.
now.
Carry on.
No, if I'm in what I air quotes think is a relationship, you can't call me a whore because I think this is my man, my man, my man. Like, what are we talking about here?
But
And
unless
even
a
let's say
ring
I
Courtney,
on
it
was a
your
was
whore,
a
does it
finger.
make
flavor
it
of
okay? I'm
Okay,
love.
hold
supposed to
hold on.
accept that?
Let's go to Mary Mary. We'll start with Mary Mary, then I'm coming to you, Jesse. Go, Mary.
No, I was just gonna tell Courtney real quick. Remember, we're on Flavor of Love. That's what they were on. They were on Flavor of Lovey. But no, I was just gonna echo a little bit of what Leah was saying is and I had gotten a phone call, so I might be saying exactly what she said or paraphrasing wrong or whatever. But I think that when we hear certain words that trigger up in us, and I'm always be a proponent for mental health and therapy and all those things, we need to figure out why is it triggering me. Because for one, when they say I am not my ancestors, I mean that in a multitude of ways. There are certain things that I do not allow to offend me because it is not me. So I feel like a lot of people need to take reflection in why they're getting offended by certain words when it wasn't a generalized statement to categorize Black women or women. So for
Marcella
me,
said we're all whores because we had sex.
Let me,
well,
okay,
he
can I
That
respond to
is
the
not what I
question? You
said. May
asked me
I
the
That's
clarify
question.
not
my
okay.
statement,
Yes,
please? That
sir.
is
Yes,
not
Yeah.
sir.
what I said.
Okay.
Because that listen very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
I said, according to the Bible, if you are having sex outside of the confines of marriage, you are participating in what would be called harlot or whorish behavior. That is the now I'm not saying that I'm just telling you according to the confines of the scripture. Now you can say whatever you want. I called myself a whore. If you are, it's like this. If you lie, you are a liar. Now you can say you don't lie all the time, you only lie some of the time, you only tell white lies. You are a liar. If you have
I
told
stopped
a
lying in the past.
listen, you are a liar. It just is what it is. That's why the scripture says this were some of you. In other words, there was some progressive change in some of the people, but I'm not trying to go down that road. But here, when you have these church conversations and you sort of interject some of this stuff in here, if you are participating in the behavior, I'm not judging you, I'm just giving you what it says.
Yeah,
I think sometimes when I talk, people are thinking it's a judgment against you. I said I'm a whore too. I don't even understand how the hell you feel like you being judged and called a whore when I just said I'm in the same boat with you. So we
right.
in
And also, that was
But we
in
can't be in the
response.
same boat if I'm not in the same boat. So I'm not a whore, right?
Well, if you
So,
haven't well, in my opinion, if you're having sex outside the confines of marriage, you are participating in whorish behavior.
but I told you last night I'm not.
Okay, well then you're not, Courtney. And
Right. But this is what
that's
I'm
the other
saying.
thing I don't understand.
Hmm.
Why does everybody keep internalizing these types of conversations? You want to make it about you, and you can't have the conversation outside of yourself. Every time I have real tough conversations, I've seen this over the years, and I've had to tell so many people in my life this. Stop internalizing it and making it about you. If we're talking about molestation and you've been molested, this conversation would not be about your molestation situation. We would be talking about molestation in the confines of the conversation. But what happens is when we start talking about molestation or sexual activity or anything like that, you start thinking about you and all of the sex that you done had and all of the partners you done had and all of the stuff that you have done. And that's not how you have a proper conversation. When you are having a conversation, you are having a conversation outside of yourself, unless you choose to draw the conversation into your own personal experiences. If it is a general topic, we are simply talking about the general topic. But what happens is, too often we internalize it and we make it about us because we could be talking about something or someone else, EJ, Sheridan. We could be talking about somebody else, and somebody said, "Oh, well, they're participating in whorish behavior." And the first thing out of somebody else's mouth is, "Well, I'm not a whore." Well, we ain't talking about you.
Well, now, so I did not internalize anything until last night. You did say this last night. We're all whores.
Well, I know if I
And I
slept
said the
outside the
same thing I said right then is what I said. That's the only time I said, no, I'm not a whore. Because Miss Monique, or Monique, I think that's her name, because she was up there. And we both like, no, we're not whores. And, we kind of joked around like that. That's the only time that I internalized it. No, this whole situation is not about me. However, going to what Mari said, I am my sister's keeper, though. I
and I
am.
and I respect that. And
That's all.
I can tell you this. I can tell you this. I think on some level, yes, somebody's sending me a message. Let me read what it says. But Marcellus, you did just say if you are having sex outside of marriage, you are a whore. That's why Courtney is giving her opinion as far as telling you she is not she is not internalizing it. She's telling you that she is not. Okay, and I can understand Courtney telling me that she is not, but what I'm saying is if you are having sex outside of the confines of marriage, the Bible defines you as a certain thing. And that's what we were talking about in the context of the conversation. I was simply bringing in how it is defined. That is all I did. I didn't say that nobody said, but you did just generally make a statement saying that the person is. Let me back up. Courtney, did I say you were a whore?
I'm referring to last night when you said we're all whores.
Okay. Well, let me just say this. If you've had sex outside of marriage, you were participating in whorish behavior. If you are a liar and you told some lies, guess what you are? You are a liar. You don't get to just say,
That's all
oh,
right. At
you know
the
what I'm
end of the
saying?
day, I understand. I
You,
I love you, Marcellus. I don't have ill intent, and I didn't mean to come up here
no, I
and
know
turn
you don't
around
have
and
no
make
ill
this
intent.
about me, because it's not about me. This is about
You are correct. You
MJ
are
and
correct.
Lovey and everybody
Well,
else involved.
somebody just mentioned it, Courtney. That's why I was bringing it up.
No,
That
that's fine.
um
But the only reason why I spoke up last night and I'm kind of came up now is because I do feel as though oftentimes women, okay, let's say we put ourselves in this situation, right?
mhm,
Oftentimes, once everything is said and done, it's go sit over there and shut up and go on about your life. And I feel like oftentimes when we do speak out, we're immediately, and I say we as women, we're
mhm,
immediately lambasted for it, right?
mhm.
But the man gets the hand clap of praise,
Yeah,
but the
right.
woman is called a whore.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't do that on this
That's
platform.
the only place, that's
Oh
the only
no,
space that I'm coming
I'm an
from.
equal opportunity coming to get that tail platform, because y'all should know by now, if you watch me and you pay attention to what goes over here, y'all know I don't play when it comes to victims and when it comes to women being taken advantage of, women,
Mhm.
children, men, whatever. It don't happen. I'm an equal opportunity person over here. If it's a man, he's a whore. If he's out here slinging, and I think it was Tasha Global that defined him as the dingaling slingers.
Hmm.
Um, if you slinging your dingaling, I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to call you exactly what you are. You're a whore. You don't have no business, and men can be whores too. If you running around doing and exhibiting this type of behavior, it is what it is. But to say I said that about all black women is disturbing to me, because I never said that. And if you in it, I never inferred it, I never implied it, I never did any of those things. And for somebody to label me as that, it was infuriating, and I will not stand for it. That's all I'm saying.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Again, no love lost.
I
I'm
love
still
you.
gonna grapple with you
I love you.
any time of the day. I love everybody on the platform. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, Daryl, sir, where you at? Daryl, not the cigar vlogger. Daryl, pay attention, sir. You there?
I'm here. What
All
was
right.
that?
Now, see, you're a preacher, and see here. Let me talk to you for just a second. How do you preach to a generation of people who, when you're telling them about, the word, because see, I said this the other day when I was talking about Larry, because Larry was talking about sin. And I said, well, Larry, how are you defining sin? Right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with a generation of people, when you have to define these terms, because see, everybody is fine just throwing the terms out and saying the terms. But when you actually have to define the terms to a new generation, it becomes a very difficult job. And I just want to say, Daryl, preachers coming behind this generation are going to have a very difficult time preaching to these people. And their job is going to be tremendously hard because we can't even get past basic things when it comes to understanding basic stuff.
Yeah. And it's just like what Jesse just said, a lot, he said a few moments ago, it's like a lot of times it's hard for people because they put everything at face value and they use their emotions. And all you were saying was like, this is the biblical terminology of
Right.
what that means. And no offense to Courtney, I was quiet. I just let her talk. But it came across like she was offended. But I'm like, this is the word. Like that's what it is.
Right. And it is,
And
and I was thinking today, Daryl, the word is offensive. The word is
yeah, it's
offensive.
supposed to be sharper than
Right.
two-edged sword. Yeah.
Yeah, it is offensive. And I understood, and I said to myself today, when I was thinking about all of this, I said, okay, well, Marcellus, you're gonna have to walk a tightrope here because personally you're not trying to offend anyone. You know that you love black women. You know how you feel about all of these matters. Walking humbly, and I try to walk humbly, you guys. If you know me, you'll understand. I don't try to pretend like it is that I got all the answers. I try to walk very humbly. I'm not the Bible answer man. If you call me up every now and then, I might tell you I actually have no idea. I'm going to tell you I
But
don't know. And so I'm not one of those persons who are going to assume that I know it all.
let me, let, me, let me say this, Marcellus, and just to defend you a little bit. You shared your personal life a few months ago, and you got really emotional because you talked about when you had to leave that church. I ain't gonna mention the bishop's name, but we all know who
Right.
he is because of the way he treated the mothers of the church on their deathbed,
Mm-hmm.
and how you were very emotional because you were defending those mothers. It's like,
And they were black women.
and they were black women. So I'm
Mhm.
like, you have a history of defending black women. Can we all, hindsight being 2020, can we go back and reflect like on the ways that we could have done things? Like, we know you don't mean to offend. We all don't try to offend people. It's just sometimes that's how it comes across. But I think to just to defend you a little bit, the fact that people are saying that you were treating black women in a disrespectful tone when they know your background and history, that's where I'm like, that's not okay.
Right.
That's not okay to do that. Just I want to hear your point too, because you've been taking your belt out of a couple of times.
Ooh, that was a lot. I'm not gonna hold
Yeah,
you. I'm like,
it was
ooh,
a lot.
because I get Courtney's perspective. But and I wish she would have stayed up here. But and I hope she's not offended because that's my girl. Um, but I just feel like a little bit of what she's saying is something that I've been noticing on I'm on Threads a lot. It's one of those apps that's like Twitter. I've
Which I'm
been
refusing to go on, by the way.
it's actually not a bad
I
site.
know that's what everybody's saying, but I'm sick of y'all. How many more social media platforms is everybody gonna have to join and then have to walk away from because they're all supporting anti-black causes? How many of these things? Oh, anyway, go ahead, Jay.
You're absolutely right when it comes down to that. But I like some of the features on there because unlike Twitter, you can get racist people together. You can block their comments and all of that. So, but anyways, but yeah, I'm on there a lot of times, and it feels like sometimes, like you'll have a conversation and you'll bring up black women specifically, where you're noticing patterns with them, and you're not saying it out of hate or anything, but it's just like they're just jumping down your throat because they're like, well, you don't understand, and and this, that, and the third. And I don't know, it's like an emotional aspect sometimes with black women, where they kind of want to lump everybody in together when it's like black women, they all have their own perspective on things. I don't think I've ever met two women that are black that act just alike ever in my life.
Never.
Everybody has their own perspective. Everybody is going to put on, wear an outfit a different way. So, it's hard for you to kind of just lump everybody in together.
Mm.
And it was one point I was going to make. Oh, it's kind of, I'm starting to get tired. So my train of thought is getting the best of me. But I'm gonna have to come back to that. I'll think about it when I
That's fine. I just want to say this because I want everybody to understand. I don't want to come to the close of my life at this age and have people who claim to know me and love me and care for me come out and say some of the crap that I've heard in the past 24 hours. Uh, I cannot allow that into my space or my place. And you all who are following this channel, I want y'all to know me from the bottom of my heart. I will never put you guys in a situation or a circumstance where you would have to feel small. To the best of my ability, I would make sure that I try and defend you and respect your honor and respect you in this chat and respect you on this platform. At no point and no time do you have to worry about me as a man coming in a position as a black man to disrespect you in any way. Anybody who gets somewhere and tells you otherwise, the only thing that they're trying to do is to create a wedge between you and me. And I'm just not, if you choose to buy into it, that's on you. But over here, I want it to be clear and understood. I love people. I have honored people my whole life. I have served people my whole life. And these nasty, ridiculous, undermining, underhanded people who have not done the type of service and work for others that I have done. This is a story I wanted to tell y'all too. And I thought about this earlier today. And I think I told the moderators this story one time. One day I was at the altar getting ready to pray for a man, Daryl. This is hilarious. And I was down at the altar, working the altar because that actually was my responsibility. So I'm down there making sure that the altar is good. And they had this big dude. He's a big, muscular dude, big dude. And I told the altar workers, I said, I'll take him. And, I'll pray for him, right? And I started talking to him. And while I was talking to him, the Holy Spirit said to me, that's really not why he's down at the altar. Here is the reason why he's down at the altar. So what I did was I whispered in his ear the real reason why he was down at the altar. This big dude, I mean, huge dude, put his head, he grabbed me. And I'm telling you, he's bigger than I was. He grabbed me on my shoulders, put his head on my shoulder and started boo-hoo crying and snotting down my shirt. I mean, my suit lapel had nothing but snot on it. I mean, it was snotting. And you have to know me. Normally, when I'm clean, I'm real clean, especially when I'm in the service. I'm clean, and so I mean, I'm walking around this, getting ready to leave sanctuary, and I'm like, "Good Lord, this is crazy." And if you work at church, most of the time you're there all day, right? So I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to go home and change this suit. And I got a point here. Hang on. So while I'm looking at all this snot on my thing and trying to walk out of the sanctuary, the Holy Spirit says to me, Marcella's ministry isn't glamorous. See, we done made ministry so glamorous. Everybody's so pristine. Everybody's so pretty. Here I am with all this snot on. And I was offended too. Let me tell you, I was offended because I had all of this stuff on me. And I was like, But the question was the need met? Did somebody get the message and receive the message that they needed in order to change their life? Let me explain something to you. When I started this channel back up, I had a mission to let you know that Jesus plus nothing equals everything. No matter where you are on the scale of life, there is a message to this channel. There is a message over here to tell you that no place, no space that you can go, that the love of God cannot find you in those places and those spaces. Now, there are some decisions and choices and things that I think some people that are over here, if you're coming out of the institutional church or you're feeling the pull of something else, I want you to know that this particular channel is supposed to be a safe space for you to land, to know that you're not crazy. And some of the things that are going on in the institutional church are crazy, but you're not crazy. And so this platform is made and designed for that. And if you've been wounded, if you've been hurt, if you've been scarred and marred from the church, I'm trying to tell you that that is an experience that you have had. But Jesus will never let you down and will never put you in that kind of position when you have a personal relationship with God. Let me talk about the cigar vlogger for just a moment. Let me say this. From the time I've known Daryl Moore, the one thing that I know that God was going to do and be consistent with was really changing Daryl Moore's life and increasing his prayer life. When you have a lot of stuff going on in your life, it sometimes will make you go to your knees. So there is purpose behind what I do. Now you can't label me. You can label me whatever you want to because you're nasty and you're vile and you got bad motives and you sneak around and you're always trying to do stuff that's undermining and underhanded. But guess what? You think you're fighting me. That's what you think. You think you're undermining me, but just go ahead and have your fun and you do what you do and we'll all see how this pans out in the end. That's all I want to say. Was that Jesse? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I thought about my last point that I was trying to make. My point was I tend, and I think you're like me, Marcellus, where I have a tendency if a woman comes out and tells a story, I kind of had a tendency to believe them
Mm-hmm.
over the men.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to say that last night. It was just a lot going on last night and tonight. But I have a tendency to believe women, and sometimes the women might just be straight up lying.
Yeah.
That could happen
Oh,
too.
Jesse. Oh, Jesse. Speaking of that, this is how crazy this is for me. When Andrea Garrison brought her slick, slimy back self over here to Daryl's platform, we believed her.
Hmm.
She was lying her ass off.
Hmm.
But we still went to bat for her, and I went to bat for her all of that long time because we believed a black woman.
Yeah.
So for somebody to accuse me of not believing a black woman, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Where you been? There's been plenty of people that I have been. Listen, when I went up on Larry Reed's platform and demanded that Bernard Jordan get that woman back her $25,000, y'all do realize that was a black woman, right?
Hmm.
I'm
And
just
the
saying.
and the Jezebel spirit don't got a color, cause spirits don't have colors.
When
So
William
that's
Murphy
a
had that 10-year-old son that he wasn't paying no attention to and was pretending like he didn't even exist, and I went up on that platform and chewed them people out for taking that weird apology, you do know I was defending a black woman and a black child when I did that, right?
Mhm. And then, because I used to be so pro black, everybody, black men, black women, woo, woo, woo. After November 2024, and those numbers came out, and the things that I see on the internet every day, there's no way that I can just automatically go up and say, oh, you're a black woman, I believe you. You're a black man, I believe you. I just don't have that in my heart right now.
Yeah, I mean, but nowadays, for real, Jesse, you have to proceed with caution with any story that's presented.
Any and
Yeah,
everybody,
you really do. You really do.
because
Uh,
so many people lie and so many people have the spirit of Jezebel.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with that. I'm gonna leave it there tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All I'm gonna say to you is this, Daryl. If you have a final thought, feel free.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one thing. Going back to
Going back, we lost you, Daryl. Oh, he must have got a call. Listen here, you all. Daryl, cigar vlogger, you still okay? Wait, go
can
ahead,
you hear
Daryl.
me now?
Yes, we
No,
can.
I was gonna say like we need to have a serious conversation about soothsayers masquerading as prophets now, because this is getting ridiculous.
But
Like
you do
it's
know what's happening, right? I'm gonna tell you something. It's almost like an Avengers movie, but it's all prophets.
yeah.
You remember when the Avengers, all of them start fighting one another?
Mm-hmm.
This is literally what I'm seeing right now. It's like all of these so-called prophets and folks is fighting one another.
Yeah.
It's
And you're supposed to
crazy.
be and you're supposed to be a part of the kingdom. Like, what is
Yeah,
all this fighting going on?
yeah. Nope,
Oh,
I don't
that's it.
buy it.
I'm done. I'm done, man. Just keep
I
keep
don't.
your head up, man. Just keep your head up. Keep it moving. You know.
Listen. I'm fine, guys. After tonight, I promise you, I will never, ever, 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 ever have a day like I had in the last 24 hours. I just won't be doing that. Daryl Moore, cigar vlogger, do you have anything you'd like to say before you exit out of the thing here, or you still there? All right, so that means Daryl is gone. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. You're on mute. Take yourself off of mute. You on mute, sir. Okay.
I said, yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening quietly.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so very much. You enjoy the rest of your holiday, sir. I'm gonna go get me some rest. I'm actually gonna go make me a sandwich for dinner tonight. Oh, by the way, you guys, I meant to tell y'all, I had some plant-based pizza,
Oh,
like nugget little thingies.
Lord.
They were so delicious. They're made out of like they had a little bit of pepper, so it had a little bit of kick to it. But it was made by the Morningstar brand. So if you guys are familiar with the Morningstar brand, I did these little pizza bites. They were so delicious. So if you like Morningstar stuff at the grocery store, if you try those pizza bites, I threw them in the air fryer. I know that's kind of random, basically from our conversation, but y'all know I'm goofy and it just hit my brain. But y'all should try those. When I find something good, I like to share it. So yeah, they had some pizza bites from Morningstar. That stuff was really good. It's a little pricey, but you know, it was delicious. But thank y'all so much, you guys, for coming up. I really do appreciate every single one of y'all. And you know how it is over here at the Mad Church Disease. Listen, we do not have to agree along to get along, but to that agitator, you have been blocked and deleted. I don't want to be bothered anymore. You have said everything you need to say. God bless you, and I wish you and your life well. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. Please make sure that you hit the like button, and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon, and make sure you press all notifications so that way you will never miss any of the exclusive content that comes on my channel. Make sure that you never miss a video. Now, I try to go live every day about 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then I come back at night at around 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 10:30 Eastern Standard, with some more exclusive content. So if you want more Mad Church Disease show content, we love for you to become a member, a revolutionary member of our channel. Please make sure that you hit the join button that's right next to the subscribe button or somewhere around here so that you guys can receive access to special community posts. You guys get all of the access to my community only lives, because we've got some sipping chats that we're going to be doing, and you guys will get exclusive content. So just make sure that you head on over to the channel page, click on the join button, and make sure that you do that. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your love and support, and I'll see you on my very next video.
We are Mad Church Disease, helping you understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. This is a show for everyone, believers and non-believers, from churched to the unchurched. Help us grow the channel by supporting our non-profit causes and create more consistent content. Donate by Cash App or PayPal, or buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com.